welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for being here. I'm grateful to each and every single one of you guys for your love and support. Love you guys. This will be another general reading on the collective soul, so take what resonates and leave the rest. If you want to book a personal reading with me or any of my other services, you want to be a part of the Soul Portal Oracle deck, check out my artwork, go to celticretrix.com, or you can contact me at my email in the description box below. Without further ado, calling in spirit, please allow me to channel what the viewer needs to hear for their highest good and healing, and so it is. Thank you, Spirit. All right, what's going on? What's going on, Spirit? What does the collective need to know, Spirit? The red carpet dress, armored femininity. They crowned your image while crucifying your essence. True self. Self. The red carpet dress, armored femininity. There could be somebody, that could be something that you're experiencing, or maybe there's somebody in your life that is sort of armoring up. Or it's like this thing where it's like you're sitting with your true self, or your true self is wanting to be sat with, and you feel like somebody didn't see the real you underneath what they wanted to see or what they could see. It's like they could only see one thing or one part of you. The red carpet dress. It's like you felt like you had to show up a certain way to be seen, but it's like this true self within you wants to be sat with, or wants to be held, wants to be acknowledged. I feel like you're coming really close to acknowledging it, or you are acknowledging it, but it doesn't make it any less painful. What is the true self feeling in this moment, Spirit? What is the true self feeling? Armored femininity. They crowned your image while crucifying your essence. It's almost like you showed up to something, or you showed up for someone. It's like you showed up for someone, but when you couldn't show up the way that they expected you to show up, you felt like they crucified you, that they did something was unfair, something was re-traumatizing. Somebody felt re-traumatized. Connection, true self, connection. So you're truly connecting with your true self, and it's kind of like making you see this other side of yourself that was actually a mask that you felt like you had to wear just to be safe, just to be accepted. But then through that acceptance, that conditional acceptance, you felt like another part of yourself wasn't accepted. So maybe there's something where you're connecting with your true self. Connect with people who support your goals and aspirations, who support you, who support not the version of you that they felt comfortable supporting, not the version of you that made them feel comfortable, you know what I mean? Not the version of you that made them feel superior, or made them feel comfortable, made them not have to challenge something about themselves. It's like you're challenging yourself. You've been challenging yourself, and that's challenging other people. This connection to your true self is challenging other people. Maybe there's something also, it's like the red carpet dress. So it's like, do you even want to go down the red carpet? What is masquerading as safety? Something masqueraded as safe, or as the roots that you wanted to put down those roots, or something like that, or the direction, follow the red carpet. But it was actually rooting you something into, or an energy that was more so rooted in the past instead of where you actually want to go. Alienation. You could have gotten alienated from a group of people or society or something like that. Ebb and flow. Okay. It's like you felt like something was a gilded cage, or like it was literally just a cage to your true essence. And I feel like your true essence has been spilling out. You can't contain something anymore. Something just cannot be contained. Something has to be drained. Someone has to pull the plug on something, or there's a pull that you have to pull the plug so you can drain something, you can release something, purge something that you've been holding that is not helping you, hollow, because something hollowing something out. You're hollowing yourself out. You're purging something that you were connected to. It's like somebody or something that made you feel alienated for being connected to yourself. You're hollowing out something that has kept you attached to things that actually make you feel more alone, more misunderstood. Ebb and flow. Something was blocked from flowing. So you felt blocked. Some of you guys could have felt blocked from doing something that you want to do. But now it's like you're pulling the plug, you're pulling the drain so that it can flow out. You're releasing the block. You're releasing this block, and it's through this connecting with your true self, connecting to how you really feel, connecting to how a part of you felt alienated, or you felt like you had to alienate a part of yourself to be a part of this red carpet, this society, or this group of people, or certain people in your life who only crowned an image of you of what was comfortable for them, or what they were used to seeing, or what they expected from you, right? So you're hollowing yourself out so that you could hold a higher frequency, so that you can no one can make you feel anything you don't already feel inside. So it's like there could be something that's going on that's making you feel I'm hearing demystified, or what is it making the collective feel, Spirit? What is this making the collective feel? Change. Something's got to give. Something's got to change. Something has got to change. There's beauty in the breakdown. Like something has been making you feel like you just can't move on, that you can't go on, you can't move forward. Lost. Somebody feels lost. Somebody feels hollow inside. But it's like it's hollowing out something that was never true, or that was never, that left you feeling hollow anyways. But now you're actually just neglect, alienation, neglect. This grief where other people neglected your grief, where other people even were skeptical that you were even allowed to grieve at all because of their own, what they thought in their own minds. What you see is what it is. What you see is what it is. You don't necessarily like what you're seeing though. What you saw, what someone showed you, the fact that they neglected you, it hurt so bad. It hurts you so bad. And I feel like you're purging something, you're releasing something, it's something that was blocking you. Because it was too painful, a part of you that you alienated from you, because it was too painful to feel how something was a recreation, something was recreated again. And then it says right here, it's like no one can make you feel anything you don't already feel inside. I'm even getting like skeptical that you're even allowed to feel at all, that you're even allowed to feel pain at all, because it's like this thing where you were conditioned when you were growing up that like your feelings were over exaggerated when they were actually just your true feelings, that your true self trying to express itself, and the other people around you didn't want to hear what your true self had to say because they were actually alienated and disconnected from their true selves. So it's like there's something where it's like people making you even doubt that you're allowed to feel something, that there's something wrong with you, skeptical, what's wrong with her, or what's wrong with me? There must be something wrong with me, that I feel this way, and that people turn away when I try to voice what I'm feeling, or when I try to get help, or when I try to honestly just relate about something that I'm going through. What you see is what it is. Something that you've seen, it's been hard for you to accept. Something that you see within yourself that could also be hard to accept. Because it's like only you have the ability to pull this plug out so that something can drain, so that something needs to be drained within you to get this flow, to get your own flow back. But it's been scary even thinking about putting your hand into that muddy water to get to that, to get to that drain, to unplug it. It's been really hard. Because confirmation, because to put your hand in that water, that would be going heart to heart with feelings that have been too painful for you to truly sit with. There's something where it's like all the things that you use to cope, to run away from something, that they're not working. But there definitely has been something that has been neglected for a long time. And there could be other people around you making you feel neglect. And it's not your fault. It's that there's something within you that only you can give to yourself. That only you can give to yourself. This crown, you're taking back your crown. You're crowning your own essence. You're connecting with your own essence. This is a massive change that is happening. It's like hollowing out all of these programmings, this guilt, something about guilt in your solar plexus, something about nausea. It's like this guilt that you've held for even speaking out for yourself, because you were always met with people who were skeptical of what you were even saying, because it went against their own programming. It went against what they're comfortable seeing the world as, or seeing themselves in the world, or what they want to be. It's like there's something where you were speaking out against something, and then you guilted yourself for that because you were conditioned to guilt yourself, because there was somebody who was always guilting you for making them feel something that you were allowed to feel through your reflection. They didn't want to feel what you were reflecting back to them is what they refused to feel. So then they actually guilted you for being honest about something that they couldn't be honest with themselves about. The molten one, primordial realm. Lava-blooded. She is the pressure before eruption, raw emotional force, catalyst of creation and collapse. So lava, red, obsidian, gold, cracked earth glowing from below. It's like something underneath the surface. There's something underneath the surface. What erupts is what no longer could be buried. Shadow the exploder erupts without purpose or reflection. Maybe you could have erupted. And that's interesting. So it's like lava and then the red carpet dress, the red carpet. It's like maybe something that you did or something. It's like the red carpet is being burned away by this lava. Maybe you have exploded, or there's something that this cannot be kept underneath the surface anymore. The pressure before eruption. Change. You're changing, and there's a lot of pressure coming from within, coming from Mother Earth, or the frequencies, or the energy that you feel around you. You know that something has to change. You know that there's a part of you that has to change, that has to surrender to this change, that has to there's something of like where you're skeptical that you're even allowed to feel something, and it really gets in your way. What you see is what it is, but it's like that you don't want to see it for what it is. Because if you see something for what it is, and you truly sit with that and what it really meant, then it will break your heart. Something will break your heart. Maybe that someone was hollow, that someone, like that what someone was giving was actually hollow, that they didn't even have anything to give in the first place. That you were actually giving to an empty cup with a hole in the bottom. You felt like you were giving something to someone else that had a hole in the bottom, that couldn't give back or even appreciate what you were giving. But maybe it was a reflection of a part of yourself where a part of yourself that felt neglected. It's like you were giving to someone else that actually hurt you again. It's like you just gave into a dynamic that was the same as the dynamic that you always lived through. And that's what is so hard to sit with. It can be so hard to sit with that. but definitely something, fingerprint. We got fingerprint, tonic. Loneliness masked as superiority. If I look down on everyone, I don't have to admit I need them. Sadness masked as indifference. If I stop feeling, I won't hurt anymore. It's like, yeah, feeling disconnected from your own sadness. Like it doesn't really matter, but something does matter. Something did matter. Something really did matter. Loneliness masked as superiority. If I look down on everyone, I don't have to admit I need them. And then we got chalice. The crucible. Kneeling in the crucible, gold within, to find kneeling at the apex of your sadness, the apex of your loneliness. Crate. I'm hearing not accepting other people's crates of sadness. Something is about you right now. Fingerprint. True self. Fingerprint. The spirals. Fingerprint. True self. Really getting down to the nitty and gritty of who you are, what you need, what you never got, what you always felt, what was always denied to you, who was always skeptical of your pain, of your presence, of your worth, who was always making you feel skeptical of your worth, making you feel like the neglect was just a given, like that, yeah, of course you're gonna be neglected, because why would I not? Why does your pain matter? Somebody's like, why does your pain matter? It's like, because they make themselves feel like their pain doesn't matter. Or it's like something is about somebody else's pain, but your pain doesn't matter. There's something of like, someone is like, your pain doesn't matter, look at my pain, what about your pain? So it's like, you're just like, what about my pain? And then spirit is like, it's like there is gold within this pain. There is gold at the bottom of this basin that you have to drain. You're at the apex of this pain right now. There is a turning point coming. There is a change, but something is boiling up and coming up to the surface. And crate, interesting. It's like you tried to put something away, like put something in a box and just put it away, like, just, you know what I mean? Now I'm getting that thing from Indiana Jones where they put the frickin' the Lost Ark or whatever. Is that what it's called? Raiders of the Lost. Yeah, and then they put that thing in that huge warehouse in a crate. Top men, like the top men will deal with this ancient artifact. We're gonna just put this ancient, it's too powerful, you know what I mean? It's too powerful, we're just gonna put it away in this warehouse with all the other artifacts, and top men will deal with it. Somebody always made you feel skeptical of what you were seeing, if that was reality or not. But what you see is what it is, and that's why it hurts so much. That's why it hurt so much, and that's why you felt like you had to put those feelings away in a crate just to deal with on another day, or to never deal with at all. Because someone always made you feel like, okay, well, there's somebody else that's going to be better equipped to deal with that. Or maybe you need to go seek outside help to deal with that. And that's not saying that outside help isn't useful, but there's something that you can do that is your true self, that you can do within yourself, but you were made to feel powerless, as if you can't do anything at all or something, for what I'm channeling. But there's gold within. There's this, the Shroud of Turin, imprint of resurrection. What was destroyed still left a mark of divinity. What was destroyed? So I feel like you could have, like this lava, this like the molten one, something could have boiled over, something could have, You could have let your anger get the best of you or the best of a situation, but this is actually a catalyst. This is a catalyst. Something, raw emotional force. And that could have changed something. It was your true self coming out to the surface for the first time in a long time. And this molten lava is actually burning away these like unspoken contracts or agreements within you energetically that you had to your own guilt, to your own skepticism that kept you surviving in a system that never intended for you to thrive, that never intended for you to separate yourself from it in your own mind. That's what you're doing. You're separating something from your own mind, and you had to get something out. And maybe there could have been a better way that you expressed something or that you did something, but something was bound to happen. It's like I'm getting like something was gonna blow, like something was going to happen. And there's something of, there might be not other people out there right now that you feel can understand what it is that you've been going through, but you can understand your own understanding of the truth of what you always saw, that other people made you feel skeptical for even voicing, or for even feeling that something was off, or that something wasn't right, or that you weren't treated right. You are your own tonic. There could also be someone in your energy who's like looking down on you, but they don't want to admit that they needed you, or that they feel like they need you. It's like they resent you for needing you or something like that. Anvil. Somebody has an anvil on their heart for how they treated you. Shatter, the illusion must break. Like something that you did shattered an illusion for somebody. And then scythe, something, or like something that somebody else did to you, or how they responded shattered the illusion, and this person knows that the illusion of who they said that they were to you is absolutely shattered. Loom, somebody feels like anvil. It's like somebody feels like something is looming over them. Ancestor, somebody's ancestor, somebody feels like they're not tension. So we got alchemical fire, subconscious, tension field, ancestor, loom, anvil. What is this anvil, spirit? That somebody's holding, somebody is holding something, and it feels like an anvil. Love. Somebody loves you, but they don't want to. It's looming over them, the fact that they couldn't love you, or that something like the illusion, shatter the illusion, confirmation. So somebody feels incomplete without you, or somebody feels alchemical fire. It's like this, I don't know what you said or what you did or what you had to express, but it's this thing where it's an anvil. It's exposing where this person is holding vanity. This person, it doesn't match up. Shatter the illusion. Somebody is very fearful because something doesn't match up to the illusion that they present as, or that they hold to. Speechless. Somebody might be holding back from saying something to you because they know that you see through the illusion, that something that they did was even shattered the illusion for you. Self-esteem. Somebody alchemical fire. I feel like you're alchemizing something. You are this alchemical fire. Your true self is the alchemical fire. You connecting to your true self and letting yourself feel that sadness, that anger, those emotions. something that like you were never allowed to express love. You were never allowed to express this love for yourself, to even expect love back from people. And I feel like that's something that's really hurt, is this thing that I feel like you've given love to so many people to receive love, and you're starting to see that no matter how much love that you give to others, that they will just take instead of actually loving you back, actually showing you that love back. Disconnected, because they're disconnected with their own true self. So it's like you're connecting with your true self and you're seeing something that's been looming over your shoulder, or somebody feels weighed down by something that they did to you or how they treated you. How what they did shattered the illusion, or how you shattered an illusion by speaking up. It's like you did something that wasn't on the manual. Like you did something that wasn't on the manual of you, that they had this manual on you of like what buttons to push, and you know what I mean, how to deal with you. Like somebody felt like they had a manual, like they knew everything about you, like somebody felt like you were just so easy to read. Somebody felt like you were just so easy to just push a button and then you would just do what they wanted to do. I'm here like dancing around like a trained seal or something like that. Like you're not a trained seal. You know what I mean? I don't know, scythe, you could have cut someone off, or you could have said something that like hurt somebody else. Like it could have come from out of nowhere. But it shattered the illusion that you were comfortable with something, or it shattered the illusion. You did something that shattered the illusion that something was okay when it wasn't okay, where you were pretending like something was okay, but it wasn't okay. And your true self knew that something wasn't okay, that something wasn't on, that you felt uncomfortable with something. Your ancestors were over your shoulder. Your ancestors were like, okay, we know, like, do you see the pattern? Like your ancestors saw this pattern and you saw the pattern. But it was a part of your healing or your growth. It was a part of you. It was an experience so that you could finally make a change, finally let go of some sort of guilt, self-sabotage. Stop the spiral with self-love, giving love to your true self, knowing that something wasn't loving and that something that somebody else was doing to you, how they were treating you, or how they neglected something that was important to you, wasn't love, wasn't really love. Block. So alchemical fire and block. You're alchemizing something that has been a block for you, something that let it out, let it flow, let it out. You gotta pull the drain, pull the plug. Or somebody was subconsciously doing something that made you feel tense or rage. Somebody was subconsciously doing something, and it was like this subconscious tension that you felt. Ophelia's flowers, insanity in bloom. Your softness was never the weakness. The world was too sharp. So this is something, it's like your softness, and it's like I feel like you were so kind and compassionate, overly giving to someone, and somebody took that for granted, and then is saying that your rage, or that your anger, or that your sadness, or that it's like you exploded. You could have exploded at something because something has been happening for so long underneath the surface. Gratitude masked as obligation. They give thanks not from joy but from fear or of abandonment if they stop. Gratitude masked as obligation. maybe it's like somebody made you feel like you had to be grateful for something that they did. But somebody gave to control you or something like that. Because somebody made you feel like you couldn't, somebody could have tried to control you through giving you things, through giving you presents or giving you money, or the forgotten doll, abandoned innocence, that child self left behind still watches the door. Yeah, abandonment, again, neglect and abandonment, grief, the sadness, alienation. Being alienated for the parts of you that bubble up to the surface. I feel like even if you have been destructive, it's been a cry for help. But no one, it feels like no one cared. It feels like no one cared. It feels like people just took, and the tension got more and more and more and more and more. But it's like you stuffed it down. You stuffed that inner tension that you felt like something was going against your best interest, that you were kind of sacrificing yourself from somebody else. You were sacrificing. You were made to feel like you had to sacrifice yourself so that you wouldn't be abandoned. That you had to like be grateful for the crumbs that somebody was giving you whilst you sacrificed yourself. And that made you upset. That made you upset, but you just admitting to yourself, admitting is hollowing something out. Admitting to yourself where there was something that you were blocking something for you, inside of you, that you were keeping something stuffed down, that you were keeping something, because it was too much. It was because it's too much. And even then, it's like that thing where it's not about, there's not something that you did wrong. It's like that you were traversing something that has been unspoken, that has been abandoned, that has been acted like it was never abandoned, like that nothing ever was wrong, like that everything was always okay, like that something was a complete illusion. And you shattered that illusion, and you feel like a part of you shattered. There could be somebody else who feels like they were hurt in the crossfire of your own shattering. You were shattering, and somebody's making you shattering about themselves and about where they feel like they can't shatter, or that they shattered, nobody helped them. Somebody wanted something from you, but they didn't want to give back. They didn't know how to give back, or they couldn't, or they just didn't want to because it was never about you, and you realize that's about somebody that was never actually about you and what you needed. And it reminds you of something from the past where it was that exact same thing, where it was never about you, that you were just expected to just disappear, that you were just expected to just, the forgotten doll, that you're just abandoned innocence, like that, you know what I mean? But I feel like that you almost like, to cling to that innocence, you had to think that somebody else was innocent in what they were doing and how they were acting. Like you had to believe that somebody was not doing what you saw that they were doing. Like that what you see is what it is. It was what it was, but what you clung to was like this thing where it's like, okay, well, I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt. I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt. This could be somebody in your family or something. It's like this thing was passed down. You've seen this pattern. You saw this pattern within your mother or your father. You saw this pattern in your siblings and their kids, or you saw this pattern in your extended family. And it's like something, you've seen someone else shatter before, and you saw that everybody else ignored them. So you learned to ignore something within yourself for the fear that you would shatter too, and that no one would be there to help you pick up the pieces. And I feel like you could have felt shattered lately, where it's like no one was there to hold you. No one was there to help you. Echo only. The answer lies in a memory. The answer lies in a memory. Confirmation. So something that you saw, the answer lies in a memory. Or this forgotten doll, abandoned innocence, where you feel like you just had to pack that up. Just pack her up. Just put it in a crate. I can't deal with this because there's a part of me, or that there's confirmation that there's people in my life who are not like equipped to deal with this because of how they've made me feel in the past, or because they made me feel responsible for them, even though they should have been responsible to hold me while I was going through this. There's something that was like complete chaos. You know what I mean? There was like complete chaos. And there could be something where like somebody feels like maybe even that they're creating chaos or something, but it's like red thread, this red thread, this red carpet, this red thread, this expectation, this pulling, this guilt, this cutting that thread. You're cutting that thread. That is your tonic. To cut that thread, the forgotten doll, abandoned innocence, that child self left behind. Going back to that inner child that still watches the door, afraid that somebody's going to come in and hurt you, that afraid that somebody is going to, watches the door, constantly watching, hypervigilance, constantly watching for being hurt in the same way that that child was hurt. Constantly feeling like you have to be on edge, constantly feeling like unasked question, what was left unsaid? The train that never comes. The cursed ring, attachment with a price. You keep what you won't release and it keeps you. So something, that's what I'm saying, something that needs to be released. You need to pull the plug so that something can drain out. Sunless meadow, beauty and shadow. There is beauty and shadow. You're gonna get, like, this is the thing. You're finding the beauty in the muddied water, in the shadowy water, the shadowy, muddy water. You need to pull the plug so that you can drain this out. What was left unsaid? Can we get some confirmation on what was left unsaid, Spirit? Let's get a few. What was left unsaid? What was left unsaid? Can we get some confirmation? Knowledge, something that you knew, or maybe you feel guilty because you know something but you haven't said something, or what was left unsaid, something that you know wasn't right, or something that you know somebody else did, something that you held back, something that you knew happened. You held back yourself from speaking on this, something that you knew, something that you know. What was left unsaid? Can we get some confirmation? Something when somebody was 7 years old, something that happened to somebody when they were 7 years, fire, this passion, something that was left unsaid. Fire, alchemical fire. It's like you need to say something to yourself for yourself, but you feel like somebody else needs to hear it. You feel like you held back saying something to somebody and it's hurting you. It's driving you mad because you know that the reason why you didn't say something is because of the reasons, the age-old reason of why you felt like you could never be yourself or do what you wanted or say what you needed to say because somebody always stomped that down. Somebody stomped that out. Somebody made you feel you're afraid of. It's that fear of feeling abandoned again if you say something. It's that fear of feeling misunderstood again if you say something. It's that fear of feeling your words being twisted around and you being guilted, you being the guilty when you were just trying to say something that somebody else did and how it hurt you. So it's like there's something that needs to be written down, maybe written down. Something needs to be expressed. This whatever has been going on, something needs to be expressed, and then maybe burnt or something like that. What else, Spirit? What was left unsaid? Curse ring, attachment with a price. You keep what you won't release, and it keeps you. This has been something that of a long period of time. You feel like you've held on to this for a long period of time, or you feel like it's like now is the time, or you feel like too much time has passed. Maybe too much time has passed and you feel like you can't say what you need to say, but you hold the tonic within yourself for your own transformation. It's like waiting for someone to give you what you never got, waiting for someone to understand you like you were never understood. You're that true self. The train that never comes. Waiting, always waiting for somebody Oh my God, always waiting. Can we clarify the train that never comes? Always waiting for someone to arrive. Somebody could have left you waiting. Grounding. The train that never comes to take you to safety. The train that's the person that never comes to understand what you've been going through, or to get you out of this. It's like waiting for a savior. You are your own. Right now, the only step that you need to worry about right now is pulling that plug, pulling the drain, so that something can drain out. The train that never comes, letting go of the train that never comes, honoring your energy, letting go of the train that never comes, that never came. You've been waiting at the station, going to the station every single day, again and again, and it hurts you every single time, waiting for someone to understand your pain, waiting for someone to validate what they can't validate for you. Because if they validated for you, they'd have to see what they did in that situation. They would have to see what they would have to see what they're holding on to. They'd have to look at their pain. They would have to go into the underworld. They would have to descend into the underworld to face their own pain, like you're facing it. Something in the home. Some sort of change is happening in your home or in your family, or in who you thought was family, confirmation, who you thought was family, letting go of the train that never comes. Despair masked as cynicism. If I mock everything, nothing can break my heart. Sadness masked as indifference. If I stop feeling, I won't hurt anymore. That was what created the plug at the bottom of the plug in the drain. That's what plugged up the drain. Was somebody who never could hold space for you to feel what made you feel upset, what made you feel sad. They didn't have the capacity to hold space for you in the way that you needed. Somebody in the home. And it just went on and on and on, and as I'm hearing, it's like just went on and on and on and on. You keep what you won't release, and it keeps you. Maybe you released somebody. It's like something that kept you in a dynamic that you didn't, because it felt uncomfortable to release it, because to release it would be to face what it made you feel, what you didn't want it to be. You didn't want something to be what it was ultimately making you feel, or what it ultimately was, and who they ultimately were to you and what they were not. Because it was so painful to understand that somebody was hurting you in the same way and incapable of mending something within you that only you can mend. That only you can mend. Focus. It's like putting your focus into something. There's beauty in your shadow. There's beauty in focusing on what brings you satisfaction, but something wasn't bringing you satisfaction. Something was about like satisfying something else that somebody else needed, because that was your conditioning, where you had to satisfy what everybody else needed and forget about yourself. So something ultimately you felt roped into a dynamic, or you felt like you roped yourself into dynamic, or you felt like you fell into a dynamic of something that wasn't actually bringing you satisfaction or bringing what you needed. Focusing on it, you could be, what was left unsaid? Spirit, what was left unsaid? There's something about that. What was left unsaid? If I stop feeling, I won't hurt anymore. If I mock everything, nothing can break my heart. Somebody could have mocked you. That was their defense mechanism. They didn't want to let you get close because they didn't want their heart to break. Harmony. On what was left unsaid? Order. What was left unsaid is that something wasn't about harmony. harmony or rebalancing something. Somebody didn't want to have harmony. They wanted you to hold all of the responsibility. They wanted you to lose focus of yourself and focus on them instead of focusing on you. What was left unsaid? There's something of like, you feel like what was left unsaid is acknowledging that you did want harmony, you did want peace, you did want order, you wanted truth. But something that you did that was speaking up for yourself disrupted their harmony, disrupted the focus off of them and back onto you. Somebody doesn't want to focus on you. Somebody wants you to focus on them, or somebody wants you to see it from their perspective instead of, and not seeing it from your perspective. Somebody doesn't want to see it from your perspective. They just want to see it from their perspective. They don't want to see it from your perspective. They're holding tight to their own perspective. I feel like something also that was left unsaid in all of this is that you were so determined to make something work, but you felt like that just like that was just consumed, like it meant nothing. Focus, like you were consumed. Something is consuming you, something that you're focusing on that you shouldn't be focusing on. But it's like, that's the question. It's like, that's the beauty in the shadow, is like, why are we focusing on this? Like, why you're focusing on it? Because you know that there was some part of you that didn't honor your energy in something, and you need to I hate to say let go, because it's not as easy as that. That's what all of this work is about, is that it's not as easy as just letting go. It's about putting your hand in the water, feeling what was going on there, feeling what is inside of the muddy water. What's inside of this crucible or this drain? Like, what's in growth? Inside of that is your growth. That's where you will grow. Getting your hands dirty. Transformation, getting your hands dirty, going into that that uncomfortable water, those uncomfortable emotions, to strip the illusion. Because something was holding you, something is holding you in something, and it was an illusion. All of it was not even real. And these feelings also are the illusion. That's the matrix in your own mind, making you feel like you have to feel guilty for loving yourself, making you feel like you have to feel guilty for choosing yourself in a situation where you were choosing somebody else over yourself, and they were expecting you to choose them over yourself. Somebody doesn't want to shatter their own illusions of who they were to you, or what they did to you, or what they took from you, or what they expected from you, without facing something within themselves. Stripping the illusion. Somebody could be feeling indifference towards you. You could feel like they're indifferent towards you, but they don't want to feel how something made them feel because something reminded them of the past, or it's like because something revealed, like the fact that you shattered an illusion and you spoke the truth made them have to feel something about themselves that they don't want to feel, but in order to grow. So it's like this person is resisting growth, and you're not resisting growth. That's the whole thing. You're not resisting growth. You're not afraid to grow. You're not afraid to get your hands dirty. You're not afraid to go into that water to find what's plugging up the drain. What's really going on here, Spirit? Movement into balance. You will be more. I know that things feel off kilter right now. I know that things feel up in the air. I know that it's okay to be in this process right now. It's okay. What needs to be done is to have compassion for yourself and what this brings up for you. You're breaking this generational, something that's been passed down for generations. Sacrificing yourself for everything else, but you're cutting that off. Neglect. Sacrificing yourself, confirmation, abuse. You were neglected. And you're finally moving into balance. And that's like where to not neglect how you really feel. To not neglect the patterns of guilt that made you feel like you had to keep on engaging in things out of guilt. And that's like a part of yourself where you're upset about that because you were engaging in things that you knew weren't good for you out of guilt because you felt like that was all that you're worth and that you were afraid of being abandoned by people if you didn't give an arm and a leg, your heart and your soul, and every single thing about everything about yourself. You know what I mean? If you did just pour everything. But I feel like it's like this armor. It's like you put up a good fight or you put up a good face. Like you acted to yourself like you didn't need something, but then it brewed this resentment or something like that. But it's like you were abused. You were neglected. Abandoned innocence. Woods, concealed. That it was concealed. That it was done in secret. The fact that like your abuse was concealed from you, but also from other people, that created this thing where you felt like you were never seen, that you like got lost in a system, or that you got lost. I'm hearing like got lost in the sauce, like because you felt like that no one actually cared when it boiled down. That's what it felt like. But it's like, but you are starting to care about you. That's how everything changes. You care about you. You care for you. You stand up for you. You know what I mean? You cut something off for you. And then even or you exploded, and even if it exploded, even if you did something, maybe you went overboard, or maybe something happened where maybe it wasn't the person that you really want to be when it boils down to it. When it boils down to it, maybe that's not the person that you really want to be, but it's about the compassion of like, what even brought you to that point? What even brought you to that point was your own neglect. It was your own, where you were taught to abuse yourself for other people to be able to use you, to be able to take from you, to be able to treat you like your feelings didn't matter. Down the rabbit hole. Like you went down the rabbit hole and saw how much you were abused, and something like this, it's like something is ready to be expressed now, or it's like now, it's like this block is no longer serving you, because it's like if it's blocked, if you don't let this emotion flow, then you might explode. You might explode like a volcano, right? So that's why you have to pull the plug in this drain, and so that it's in this crucible of pain, okay? Because now finally you are the crucible. Your hands are the crucible. You're holding your emotions in your own hands. And you're also the hand that's going to go in and pull that plug out so that you can drain this emotion, so that you can feel it, so that you can finally feel it, so that you can be the train that never came, the train that never came. Now you're coming for yourself. Now you're meeting yourself at the station. You're meeting yourself at the station. You know what I mean? You went down the rabbit hole so far. You went down the rabbit hole, you saw everything that was concealed from you, everything that was hidden from you. Something could have happened out in the woods, or somebody could live out in the woods or something like that. Somebody wanted to silence you. You know what I mean? And you learn to silence yourself. And somebody still doesn't want to hear what you have to say, and that's what pains you the most, because you felt like maybe this person or someone, anyone, could just understand, or could just hold your hand, could just give you a break for once. I feel like it's this thing where it's like you're always giving everybody else the benefit of the doubt, but it's like, where the heck is anyone to give you the benefit of the doubt when you need it? That's what I'm channeling. Somebody, this is random, but you could even have solved a murder. Somebody that went on a long distance journey, solved, confirmed. Something that someone wrote, confirmed something that you always thought. Or about somebody who tried to, confirmation, somebody who tried to, there's something about that. Take what resonates. Or someone tried to like literally end your power. End your power. They tried to end your power. This could have been a couple that did this. Or they tried to end something that made you happy. They tried to something about trafficking. It's like you've confirmed, like, something to do with trafficking could have happened, and then it's like it was like covered up by other things, or somebody was like a military brat, or somebody was like so somebody grew up with like parents in the military, or something happened at some sort of party that was covered up by somebody, and it was like you were expected to just cover that up or something, or something happened, somebody lost their life, and you were just expected to just get on with that. But spirit, a higher power, has been trying to get through to you, to get you onto a different into a different frequency. What else does this person, does these people, what does the collective need to know about these people? The train that never came. Spirit, the train that never came. Affair, cheating, the train that never came. Somebody literally never ever taking accountability for how they made you feel, for what they did. Literally blaming you for a choice that they made, instead of just being like, yeah, I could see why that choice hurt you. Somebody never showing up for you, never owning their mistakes, never owning the pain that they caused you, never admitting that they hurt someone who gave them everything, who gave them love, care, attention, time, sweetness, loyalty, kindness. You gave from that, like I'm channeling, like you gave from the bottom of your soul, the depths of your soul, to make that person feel loved. But in the end, you still felt abandoned by them because they cheated on you. And you feel like, it's like this part of you that feels like, why can't you just admit it? Or why can't you see the pain? Because they're not willing to see how what they did caused you and themselves pain. They don't want to admit that they were not connected to their true self, that they were actually a mirage in the desert, and that took advantage of somebody who was already starved of love. But you've been healing. I feel like what's been left unsaid is that I feel like burial and reverse. Like I feel like somebody's never gotten over you for what they did to you, but you are healing. You're coming into alignment. What's left unsaid on their end is that they see that you're coming into alignment, but I mean, literally what they left unsaid, it's still at some level painting someone else who never said what they had to, that they messed it up, that they created it. Somebody cannot and will not own how that you freed yourself. They cannot own that they cannot own that they still feel imprisoned by what they did to you, and that meanwhile you escaped from them and you're coming back to life. So sadness masked as indifference. If I stop feeling, it won't hurt anymore. And I feel like that's what they do. But if everything is a reflection, in a sense, then it's like, so if someone can't even admit that they're sad, or that they're pretending like they're not sad, or despair masked as cynicism. If I mock everything, nothing can break my heart. They already broke their own heart. You know what I mean? Somebody, and then so it's a reflection of like, if I stop feeling, I won't hurt anymore. It's like there's a part of you that literally is trying to numb yourself so that you won't feel. Maybe even mocking that other person instead of feeling the fact that that person broke your heart. Somebody did something just for money as well. Somebody did something just for money. They did it behind your back in secret. And they're going to get their karma for that. They did something, somebody's in the military, or maybe the red carpet. There's the red carpet. Somebody wanted you to keep something secret because they were or wealthy, or like upper middle class or something. They were affluent, wealthy, upper class. Follow the money. Somebody did something because of money. They wanted you to keep something secret. And it pained you, it hurt you. Organized crime. But okay, so it's like, no matter, it's like, so somebody tried to organize something to their benefit, but I mean, you are like, your true self is like the natural, unavoidable disaster. Not saying that your true self is a disaster, but your true emotions are a disaster for somebody who wanted you to keep it secret. Who wanted you to keep something secret from yourself and to them. Somebody didn't want you to actually say what you needed to say, or to call them out, or somebody doesn't want you to be honest with them. Somebody doesn't want your honesty. They want your blind loyalty. They want your obedience. Somebody doesn't want your honesty. They want your obedience. Somebody always wanted your obedience. They didn't want you to actually be your true self or express that. They wanted to kill that. They wanted to kill that part of you that felt like you could be yourself. And so this is something was almost unavoidable, because something wasn't real, and you revealing how you truly felt and how it impacted you shattered the illusion for the other person. But somebody wants to blame you for something that you're actually reflecting back about themselves, about what they don't want to face, and how they might have hurt you, or how they might have hurt other people, or how they continue to hurt themselves through how they hurt you, or how they treated you, through how they treat other people, is actually hurting themselves. So something was unavoidable. And it could look like a disaster right now, or it could feel like a disaster. But you're gonna pull that plug at the bottom that's plugging up that drain. You're gonna clean up. You're gonna hollow out. You're hollowing out something that never even belonged there. If you were to connect with your true self, which finally now you are connecting with your true self, something never even belonged there in the first place. This guilt that kept you tethered to something that just took from you. And it's the plot twist that they didn't expect. It's the plot twist that they didn't expect. Right? That they got something wrong about you, or that they've got something wrong. They don't want to admit that they might have done something the wrong way, or gone the wrong way in their own life. Somebody wants you to stop talking about something that happened about you. Somebody wants you to stop talking about something that happened to you. This is the thing. This is the thing. It's like this is the thing. This is the thing. Oh my God. Like no one can hold the pain. It's like that. Because something that you went through, or something that you went through, that you've kept inside, for fear that was not acceptable, you're facing it, and then you're made to feel like you're crazy for feeling something that you faced or that you're facing, because they're tuned out and they're tuned into something else that numbs them from themselves and from you. So it's not your fault. Someone is just numb. They're numb to your pain because they're numb to their own pain. And it's this thing where you're seeing where you've numbed your own pain, or you tried to, maybe you And when you didn't, then it exploded like a volcano because you tried so hard to numb it. You numbed it, everything is fine, this is fine, I'm okay, I'm fine, until it wasn't okay. Until it was not, until it like honestly just wasn't okay, and now you feel like you're cleaning up somebody else's mess or your mess, or you feel like it's your mess and another person's mess, but you're cleaning up your mess. You're not meant to clean up their mess. You're cleaning up your mess. You know what I mean? But without shame, not shaming yourself for the fact that you were a mess. You were a mess because people turned away. Because it was too messy, too uncomfortable, too much, too emotional, too real, too unreal. What was real or unreal? Somebody said that something was unreal. Is it because they never lived it, or they denied that they ever lived it as well? Or somebody wanted to deny that they created something that you lived through? They wanted to deny the fact that they neglected you. They wanted to deny the fact that they were neglected. They were skeptical of whatever you felt because they never let themselves go to where they needed to feel something within themselves, because they perpetuated that onto you, that you had to feel skeptical of like feeling a certain way, like, or that you kind of had to, that led to feeling guilty for the fact that you felt a certain way of what you perceived over what you lived through, the reality of what you endured. Somebody made you feel, somebody created that block, and you're that block. And that's what has led to that explosive rage, which is actually the sadness. That everybody wants to deny, right? That everybody, because it's too unsafe, because that's where the power lives. That's where we realize that we have been disempowering ourselves, or that we were disempowered, that we were literally disempowered for no reason other than the fact that that person wanted to feel more powerful, for the fact that that person felt powerless in their life, and they just wanted to make that other person, aka you or me, feel powerless so that they could feel powerful. But it wasn't true power, and that your true power is actually feeling your emotions and getting clear at where maybe you were conditioned to let your own self down, and then healing that, and then feeling that, and then accepting where somebody else let you down because of where they were conditioned to let themselves down, to the point where they couldn't, somebody, it's like skeptical of what you see is what it is, and vanity. Somebody will not release control enough to take their mask off and sit with you and actually connect with you. They're resentful that you're speaking out on something that they did to you that made you feel resentful on the fact that you couldn't speak out on it or something. They wanted you to remain speechless at where they were deceiving you, that you wanted to remain, you didn't want to see where somebody was deceiving you and where you were deceiving yourself. And then so it created resentment towards yourself and towards that other person. So someone's resentful of you that you're finally speaking up, or you spoke up on something, on how something affected you, or affected a connection, or affected how you felt about yourself, because something wasn't lining up with what somebody said that it was. So because you felt like you had to be a certain way so that other people wouldn't be skeptical of you. Maybe you overgave or something, or pain. Somebody wanted you to swallow your pain. Swallow your pain, not voice it, not speak on it, not be honest with them. Somebody wanted you to continue deceiving yourself, and it made you feel unworthy because somebody wasn't honoring your worth. Because where they don't honor their own worth, they feel unworthy. But for some reason, there's something where trust. Feel like your intuition, trusting your intuition. You feel pain because you feel like you deceived yourself on the fact that you felt like you couldn't trust this person or trust this connection, that you felt like something was just surface level, like you felt like people were just crowning you for the red carpet dress, but then crucifying you for your essence, for what they actually were getting from the connection, from what they actually wanted from within the connection was the essence. But they crowned the red carpet dress because that was the thing that was actually like a corset, keeping you in a certain mold, keeping you speechless, keeping you feeling resentful towards yourself for the fact that you let someone take from you or make you feel less worthy through what they weren't giving back to you. Commit to you. Find yourself in your reflection. Resentment. Commit to you. You're committing to you. Someone wanted you to commit yourself to them without giving back to you. So now you're committing to you. Somebody wanted you to hold your tongue for their benefit. Speak your truth, it will set you free. I feel like you spoke your truth and it set you free, and maybe it was like a volcano, and maybe somebody feels burnt by your truth. They feel alienated by your truth. But it's because it's showing them where they alienate their own truth from themselves. And to see you finally speaking out about where you felt resentful or where you felt hurt, it shows them a reflection of themselves, where they might have hurt you, hurt other people, and where they hurt themselves, where they continue to hurt their own inner child. And so someone was actually treating you like how they treat their inner child or something like that. And expecting you, like how their own inner child, they expect their own inner child to just take some sort of treatment. They expected you to take that treatment. But because you actually walked into the alchemical fire, you're deciding to create something different. You're creating a different life for yourself. You're choosing to be kind to yourself instead of being awful to yourself on behalf of somebody else. So like, yeah, if your inner child feels confused right now, lonely, overwhelmed by everything that you're feeling, that's okay. It's okay. If you feel rage, if you feel, it's like all of this is coming from this connecting to this alienated part of you that's been alienated for a long time. Shame, rage, lonely, overwhelmed. You're feeling overwhelmed. You feel like you're being judged by those other people for breaking out of the mold. Okay, well now I'm not allowed on the red carpet anymore because I'm not acquiescing to the cult system, like to what other people expect, you know what I mean, of me, that I'm breaking the mold now because I'm breaking out of this cult, breaking out of the family system's cult, breaking out of the society's cult. It's a shock to your system. And it's a shock to those other people. And then it's like you feel guilty for them feeling pain for the fact that somebody's victimizing themselves for the fact that you are upset that they victimized you. Somebody doesn't want to process their own shame. What do these people not want to process, Spirit? It's like, because you're this alchemical fire. You are in the fire right now. You are alchemizing so much right now. Okay, so what do these other people, through you alchemizing all of this, what are these people like being confronted with within themselves because of them seeing you confront something within yourself, and you're cutting yourself free from these obligations, these false obligations that you always felt within you. So these people are feeling skeptical. So somebody's feeling skeptical. They don't want to see what's actually happening, what you're actually showing yourself, what you're actually saying, or the truth that you're standing in. They're trying to twist it so that they twist away from themselves. Their ego is trying to twist what they're seeing. They're trying to twist away from it. So what are they feeling? They're trying to, it's like, they know that you're transforming. They know that you're hurt. They know that you're hurt. But they're projecting something that they have been to you onto you, because now you're speaking out about where you were hurt by them. So it's like some sort of way of treating you and treating themselves and treating other people was crazy. So somebody could be saying that you speaking out is crazy. What is it? Is it really crazy, or else are you just standing in the truth? And what's crazy is how they treat other people and how they treat themselves and how they continuously do this to people over and over and over again. Is that crazy? What are these people feeling, Spirit? They're feeling upset that you're not people pleasing them anymore. They're feeling upset that you're not people pleasing for them anymore. And so now all of a sudden they're skeptical of who you are at a heart level because you're not forsaking yourself. It's like, I feel like you're not forsaking yourself. You want to take everything into accountability. You want to see something from that person's side, and you're seeing something from your side too. But my question is, why are you not allowed to have your side? Why are you not allowed to feel hurt? Why are you a big problem for when you feel hurt about something? Because somebody else doesn't want to see something within themselves of where they could hurt other people, because it doesn't go along with the image that they've created for themselves to be safe, whilst alienating a part of themselves that never felt safe. So anyways, so they're judging you, so their judgment, they're feeling, but it's like showing where they people please, and now so that you're not pleasing them, now they have to see where they people please themselves, like where they do something that they don't actually want, where they wear a mask where they don't want to wear a mask. That's so you not people pleasing anymore is showing somebody where they actually don't like the fact that they feel like they have to people please, like they feel like they have to wear a red carpet dress or else everybody will hate them and they won't be a part of the Hollywood club if they don't wear a red carpet dress. So somebody's upset that you're not people pleasing, you're starting to take care of yourself, you're being your true self, and it's showing them where they aren't true to themselves or aren't true to other people, or where they aren't honest about how they feel in situations because they're afraid of being abandoned. But what they're really afraid of is the fact that they abandon themselves in the process of not wanting to be abandoned. And that's something that you're seeing, that reflection, where you saw that reflection in that person, where you were like, I can't abandon myself anymore for this person like I have done my whole life. I'm not abandoning myself for this person anymore. I don't want to hurt anybody, but I cannot abandon myself for what I intuitively know that I can't trust them, because I feel like they show me abandonment, but it's really me who's showing myself abandonment in allowing them to make me feel abandoned, when I need to be the one that doesn't abandon myself and doesn't expect people who I already feel I can't trust or I can't align with to actually show up for me, when I already knew at a soul level that that person wouldn't be able to show up for me that way. It's accepting the fact that I got attracted to that energy because it reminded me, because it was safe. It wasn't actually safe, but it reminded me of what was normalized within my life, what was comfortable, right? Because the unknown is what's scary. The unknown is what's scary, but this was known. You felt that this was a pattern that was repeating again. And so then a part of you that felt scared from the fact that you felt that that person couldn't hold you was the part that came out to try to protect you, to try to just get along to go along. I'm trying to protect myself in a situation where I already don't feel held, where I already don't feel seen, where I already don't trust that person. But that protector part of you that was the protector that was created when you were abandoned as a child, where you felt like that innocence was lost, and then you were just like, you know what? So I have to go along to get along. And so I know exactly what I have to do to get what I feel like I need or want from this person, even though what I truly want or need is not being given to me, because they're not seeing my true self. They're not seeing their impact, their true impact that their behavior had on me. You see now the true impact that your own behavior has had on yourself and or other people, and you're taking accountability for that. And that is what this alchemical fire is happening right now, and it's not comfortable. And it feels insane. It can feel insane. It can feel desperately lonely. It can feel never ending, but it will. This too shall pass. This too shall pass. Just take a pause. Just let it all flow. Just let it all flow. Just let it feel it for what it is. It's not like you're gonna just forever get rid of it. It's not just about fully just like letting go and just like getting on to go on and move on and let it go. It's about letting it flow, letting yourself feel what it is. Let yourself feel what the situation was trying to tell you, honestly. Let yourself feel what that person's treatment of you or their lack of care really show you what it was that you weren't wanting to see in yourself about that connection and what it meant. So it's this thing where it's like, yeah, your alchemical fire, your process that you're going, your truth that you're standing in, your true self that's finally coming out to light. It's making others like judge themselves and you. They're judging you, but they're actually judging themselves. Yeah, they don't want to see the reflection of what you changing is reflecting back to them. About their own lack of connection to themselves. Their own block. You releasing this block, you're pulling the plug, you're cleaning the drain, and you're letting something flow. And so it's actually showing them of where they feel blocked, and that's why they pulled away from you, or they're treating you the way that they did, or they let you down in the way that you feel like that they let you down. They let themselves down. It's where they let themselves down, and they cannot bear to look at the reflection that is you, that is now starting not to let yourself down on their behalf, because that's codependency. Somebody wanted you to remain codependent with them, but you're not. Yeah. Instead, you're like, I'm gonna face this pain of the pain. Why do I feel like I need to give so that I don't feel pain? Why don't I just give to myself, give into the pain, let myself feel it, and let myself switch so that I'm not gonna face that pain again and give into a black hole. Give into a black hole, ebb and flow. Instead, we're gonna flow. Not give into that fear. Instead, I'm gonna face that fear. What am I really afraid of? Afraid of being alone? Is it because I was always made to feel alone? Was it because no one ever saw my reflection? Was it because no one ever saw my true self? No one ever reflected back to me unconditional love, and that's why I felt like I had to get love, conditional love from somebody else who was pretending like it wasn't conditional. But the condition was that I just had to keep secret about my abuse or what I felt, what I needed, what I felt, how I felt, how that other person made me unhappy. But because that other person can't stand the fact that they're not perfect, or that they made somebody else unhappy, or that they hurt somebody else, you have to just stuff it all down. You're not stuffing it all down anymore. Yeah, you're trusting yourself. You're trusting God or spirit or consciousness or whatever you call the higher power whatever you call that higher power, you're letting that higher power unblock this drain so that you can flow into a new energy, so that you can feel alive again, so that you can love again, so that you can have reciprocal love again. So someone's really angry and they're fearful, or maybe you felt like angry at yourself, you feel like you sabotaged, but something was bound to erupt. Something was bound to erupt, and it's like a triggering event. I feel like you did something out of discernment. You did something out of discernment. You saw something. You saw that there was a disconnect. You saw that somebody wasn't really connecting to you, wasn't really willing to connect to you, wasn't really willing to actually do what you needed. So now you're giving yourself what you needed. Just to close out this reading, Spirit. Inanna, wholeness. Confirmation. Wholeness. Like, I don't even know if I don't even know. I guess I'll pull another card, but I feel like that's the thing. You're coming into wholeness. And that's showing somebody else where they're resisting becoming whole, or where they have to make you the scapegoat of their own pain. They have to but you're not making anybody else a scapegoat for your own pain. You're taking accountability for what is inside of you, but somebody doesn't want to. Somebody can't use you as a scapegoat anymore. somebody can't track you or lock you down, or somebody can't put their thumb on you. Somebody can't, it's not so easy to sum you up. It's not so easy to discredit you or blame you when you've accepted something in yourself and when you were honest about something. There's something about like, let me get another card here. Grounding. You're grounding into your true self. You're finally integrating the lesson. It's like at the bottom of this crucible is a freaking turtle or something like that. Like once you unplug the drain, what you're gonna find is this turtle, and that's you. That's your true self. Grounded in your true self. This ancient turtle. Going at something on your own pace, in your own way. Accepting something at your own pace, in your own way. Accepting that someone was mirroring back your own pain. You're not demonizing them. Because you're releasing where you demonized yourself, where you couldn't face something. Where you did demonize yourself, or you encaged yourself, you hurt yourself. So the fact that someone can't see your hurt is because they're hurting. And that is hurtful. It's not that someone didn't hurt you. It's that now you're finally succumbing to not hurting yourself. That you're not always the problem, but someone isn't always the problem either. Like somebody else isn't always the full problem. Sometimes, most of the time, we all have. There's both sides of the story, but also the power is where you fed into something that you didn't need to feed into. So that someone could feed off of you so that you could feel whole, but it actually made you feel depleted. When you've always been whole. You were tricked into feeling like you were not whole, that you needed to give to other people to feel whole or to feel good or something, or to feel. So something wouldn't be revealed, like because you were like, because something made you feel so ashamed within of what happened in the past. Maybe something even to do with a group of women, or with women in your family, or this could have been just like a family in general. It's about confronting the thing within you that made you feel like you had to give into things even when you weren't getting anything in return, or even when you were being treated horribly. And you learned to doubt your own intuition, and that's the pain. That is the severe pain that comes with that, because it really did affect how you saw yourself, how your self-esteem, how you move through the world. That is a lot of pain to deal with, all coming out at once. And then for people to turn away and say that there's something wrong with you, when it's always been something wrong with the fact that you were always told that you were wrong for feeling within a system that tormented you, abused you, gaslit you, and threw you to the wolves, is what I'm hearing. Innocence. Your innocence was thrown to the wolves, but you're finding your innocence. You are innocence. You are innocence. You were always innocent. We are all innocent. We are. Oh my God, She wishes God would give her some answers and make her feel beautiful. I remember feeling low, and I remember losing hope, and I remember all the feelings and the day they stopped. You are so beautiful, even if no one made you feel like that. They didn't have the capacity, but you have the capacity to see your beauty, see everything that you went through, everything that you got through, everything that you endured, and you still, even when you mess up, it's okay, everybody messes up, but you still have that beautiful heart, you still have that loving and giving, beautiful soul after everything that you've been through. You still haven't given up hope. Sometimes you have, but then you find your way back. You are the hope. You are the hope. You are your only hope. You are your hope. And giving that hope and that love, giving that, you tell yourself that you're beautiful. There's beauty in the darkness. The beauty of the forgiveness that you find within yourself for the things that you've done that you're not proud of, or the things that you did to yourself that you feel like that got you into this pickle, or got you into everything that you've been through, or that added to it. But it's the compassion of like, that you didn't know what you didn't know until now you know. Now you know better, or now you know better how to deal with what you know or what you've been told, the knowledge that you've been given about your past or what happened, what you went through. Something is all making sense now, and it's actually showing this breakdown that you've been feeling, that you've been going through, that it's actually beautiful. Even if the world tells you that it's not, that your reaction isn't, or that, you know what I mean? But it's because they can't hold you like you can hold yourself. That's what you really need. They can't hold you. They can't even hold themselves. They can't validate you like how you validate you. You know what you've been through. They don't know. They don't even want to know. A lot of those people, they don't want to. They don't know how. It scares them. It scares you. But you're willing to face it. You're willing to face it. You're willing to track it down and look at it in its face. And to ask it what it's there for. Like, what is it there to teach me about myself so that I can move on for me, not for anyone else. Now it's about you for once. For once in your life, this is about you, what you need. And even if there were things that you did in that explosion, or in that moment of darkness where things just crumbled and you couldn't handle it anymore, you have compassion for you, because they don't want to have compassion for you, because they don't have compassion for themselves. They don't know how to have compassion for themselves. No one ever gave them that compassion. They're still in the performance. They're still trying to perform to get love, or to be loved, or to be received, to be seen. And you're not performing anymore. You're surrendering to how you really feel. And if people want to judge you for that, it's literally just them judging you for where they judge themselves, for what they don't want to feel within themselves that they've been made to feel, or that they've gone through. Magic. You're alchemizing this pain, and it's turning into your magic. You are magical. You're not meant to be the curated version of you that other people expect so that they can feel comfortable in their own stagnation. You are a magical, alchemical force of nature and love and magic and truth. That's who you are. You're dark, you're light. You've messed up, you've done amazing things. You're not a perfect person. No one is a perfect person. And your magic is your ability to face that and turn it into gold. Turn it into gold. That's what you're doing. You're turning your pain into power, and you're turning this darkness within you that you didn't want to face, you're turning it into gold as we speak, as you allow yourself to surrender to how you're feeling, what it means, what it's telling you. It doesn't mean that there won't be ups and downs, and that there's always going to be ups and then there's always going to be downs. And that in and of itself, that's frustrating too. But right now, you're in the valley and you're turning something into gold. You're in the valley of the shadow of death, and it's a part of an old part of you that is asking to die, that is asking to be released. A part of you, you can't be that version of you anymore. Even if it's uncomfortable to admit that, or to admit that you ever were that, or to admit that you let others down in trying to be something but it's the compassion of why? Because you were trying to survive, because you were trying to protect a part of yourself in order to survive. That's where I feel called to end this message. I love you guys, and I'll see you at the next video.